Welcome to PLAN STUDIO REMIÉR. I'm Vanessa, and in this video, I'll show you how to use our ultimate annual budget spreadsheet. Begin by choosing the month and year you'd like your template to start. Just use the drop-down and select the month you want your template to start with, and enter your year. Next, choose the currency that best fits your needs. Just choose a currency from the drop-down below. If your currency isn't displayed, you can use the Edit button and add any other currency you would like your template to display. In the next step, customize your categories. You can set up 40 subcategories for each category. We have the income category, expense, bill, debt, savings, and investment. And in the sample, we have preset categories for you. You can easily change them or delete them completely. Now let's add some subcategories. You can just simply enter them in the category you want them to show. For the bill category, we divide 3 different types for an easier organization. Just use the drop-down and choose if it's a regular monthly bill, a subscription, or a regular bill, which doesn't have a set due date. Then we set up a due date, just so the payment planner for the bill calendar knows the due date for that bill. Now let's add a subscription and add an irregular bill. You'll see the due date will turn gray as the irregular bill doesn't have a set due date. You can set it up later in the payment planner. Now let's add a debt. This is due on the 15th. And now you can add a saving and add any other investments you'd like to show. Next, let's set up the payment planner. The payment planner is the basis for all your entries in the calendar. Just enter the planned amount for your bill and it will automatically update for a year, and you also see the total for the month. Let's add some planned amounts for our bills. And you see it update automatically in this area. You will also see total amounts for every single month. And you just repeat that process for your subscriptions. And for your irregular bills, we don't have a planned amount and a monthly due date because it's not a monthly bill, but you can set up your own payment plan. Let's say you have a car insurance, which is annually, and it's always due in January the 5th. Remember to put in the due date for your irregular bills because otherwise it won't be shown in the calendar. And just do another example. If you have a bill that's quarterly, just put in the amount in the month that it's due, and it will later also show in your calendar. And lastly, set up your debt. Planned amounts you have to spend every month. And now you've set up your payment planner. In the Setup tab 2, we set up our bank account list, savings, and debt. Just simply start by entering your bank account name. and your beginning balance. Next, we see the smartphone saving we set up earlier. And now we can enter a goal amount for this saving. Let's say you have already $200 saved and you'd like to contribute $50 every single month. Now you choose a start date and your goal date for that saving. And same goes with the debt. You just enter the beginning balance now for your laptop credit, which is 800. And you would like, or you have to do a minimum payment of $50 every month, and it's 4% in interest. And now you've set up your savings, debt, and bank account. In the calendar, you'll see an overview of all your bills and debt you set up in the payment planner. You can change the month you want to show. Just use the drop-down. And the calendar will update for you. You can also choose if your calendar should start on a Monday or a Sunday, depending on your preference. And in this area, you may enter your paydays, and they will be shown in the calendar. You may as well add extra entries for bills that weren't planned. Just do that now. You can choose a date for the payday by simply double-clicking in the field and enter a name for that payday. And it will show up here in the calendar. As well for your extra entry, you can just choose a date again, name it, set an amount, and it will also appear in the calendar. Next, you can check the paid status for each calendar entry, and the check will show in the calendar. Just check here, and the check will appear in the calendar as well. And all these calendar entries below are from your payment planner, which you set up before. There's no need to change any of these. You can simply just use the paid check box. And you'll see which bills and debt have been paid by you and which are still left to pay. Just make sure to untick the boxes if you changed the month again. Otherwise, they will be shown in the next month as well. And also change the dates for your paydays and update your extra entries here. Now let's have a look at the timeline. In the timeline, we have an overview of all your transactions you put in the Transactions tab. You'll see the current date and have an area for every category. So now you here see the income, your expense, your bills over the whole year, your savings, your debt, and your investment transactions. In the savings dashboard, you'll get an overview of your savings progress and get to see detailed information for every sinking fund. So you're seeing what you've already saved, your savings progress for every saving you set up, your balance distribution, and all the detailed information for every single sinking fund you set up. In the debt payoff calculator, you can set up your debt repayment strategy. Choose on which month and year your payoff should start. Just double click on this field and choose the month and year you would like to start. Then set up your monthly payment. It should exceed the total minimum payment you entered in your Setup To tab. So you have $800 of total minimum payment. So we could use $1,100 for your monthly payment, and this $300 on top are used to accelerate the payoff of your debt. Now choose a debt payoff strategy. The snowball strategy focuses on paying off the lowest balance first, so it is reducing your number of debt. And the avalanche method focuses on paying off the debt with the highest interest, so it reduces the total interest you have to pay. When you've decided on your payoff method, you can start contributing to your debt in the Transactions tab. And at any time, if your financial situation changes, you can add or subtract money from your monthly payment. To subtract, just enter an amount with a minus. And if you want to add money, simply enter the amount and the payoff date will change accordingly. Now you see the change dates. To check your payments and see the balance change of your debt, just simply check the checkbox to see which payments you have made. And the balance will update accordingly. In the net worth dashboard, you can keep track of your net worth over the year. Choose a net worth goal for the end of the year. And keep track of the amount it takes to reach your goal. Below, you find a net worth tracker showing you the progress over the year for your assets and liabilities. And in the assets tracker, you simply enter the amounts every month for your bank accounts, cash and cash equivalents, for your investments and your properties, and long and short-term liabilities. Let's enter some information together for the bank account 5. It has a beginning balance of 600. And now you check your balance every month and enter the amounts. In the accounts dashboard, you get an overview of your different bank accounts. You see the current balance, your beginning balance, your total deposits and total withdrawals, and your total balance adjustments. And you can enter when you last checked your bank account, so to see if your balance is the same with your actual bank account. If you ever forgot to enter some transactions and your balance isn't the same as in the dashboard, you can either add them all later in the Transactions tab or use the balance transaction to make one adjustment for the bank account. Just head over to the Transactions tab and simply enter a balance to your bank account. Choose the date, choose the category balance, subcategory can stay empty, and choose the amount you want to adjust. So if your balance is below the balance that is shown in the accounts dashboard, you can enter a minus sign and just use the account you want to contribute your balance to. And if your balance is higher than the dashboard shows, you can just simply enter the amount. And the balance will now show in your accounts dashboard. In the next step, I show you how to record your contributions to each subcategory in the Transactions tab. This helps you to maintain a detailed record of your transactions and will be automatically shown in the annual dashboard and monthly dashboard. To add in a transaction, simply double-click on the date field and choose a date. Then choose a category for your transaction. Next, choose a subcategory. Enter the amount and choose from which bank account this transaction is going from. And you can just repeat that process over and over again, all over the year. In the annual dashboard, you get an overview of your total budget. You see your total yearly income, savings, investments, expenses, bills, debts, your planned versus actual amounts, your actual allocation summary, and a breakdown for every single category. You also get a financial overview and your cash flow summary. You have a year overview with all your month and expected and actual amounts for each category. You see your year's top 20 income sources and your top 20 expense, as well as your year's net worth overview with your income growth and your growth of your net worth. And you see a detailed monthly overview of every single subcategory. Lastly, in the monthly dashboard, you get an overview of your progress for the month. You can add leftover budget from the previous month in the rollover field and see the left to spend amount update automatically. Next, you can start budgeting and set your expected amounts for the month. Follow these simple steps and you're ready to use your ultimate annual budget spreadsheet. Thanks for watching.